With Ultra Instinct Goku getting a platinum equipment, bringing him to one of the best units in the game, I thought we should discuss why the Ultra Instinct mechanic is definitely and non-negotiably the best mechanic in Dragon Ball Legends. If you disagree, go ahead and leave a comment down below letting me know what you think is a better mechanic. But there's a lot that goes into this, down to what the developers think as well as how we perceive it as a player base. But starting off straight away, people have been dreading the idea of Ultra UI getting a platinum equipment because they don't want the game to become passive Ball Legends. And I think that speaks for itself, but there's a lot that goes into this like I said. So let's discuss why the UI mechanic is definitely number one. So I think first I should specify what I mean when I say best, because there's definitely mechanics that are quote unquote better, but how often would you see them? An example would be the ignore gauge mechanic. Sure, it's great, but it's not always meta relevant, and there's so few units that actually are capable of doing that to make it really valuable, and it's not consistent with any of the units, so I can't class it as the best. You also just don't know what unit is going to get that mechanic, whereas with the Ultra Instinct mechanic, the dodge gauge, and Ultra Instinct Goku will always have the mechanic. And in the game so far, we have how many? Purple UI, the green UI, the red UI, the yellow UI, and the blue UI. 5 UI Gokus that all have the dodge mechanics. If we get another one, an Ultra MUI, most likely, almost guaranteed, he's going to have the dodge mechanic. So an additional point would be how consistent it is and the guarantee of having it. And another factor I think is very important to address is its reliability. For what it does, can you rely on it to benefit you in PvP in the way it should? And now, giving all of these points, let's really address why the Ultra Instinct mechanic is the best mechanic in Dragon Ball Legends. We'll start with the biggest determinant, its consistency. Passive Ball Legends comes into effect whenever any Ultra Instinct unit enters the PvP meta. Why? Because the stalling aspect of the dodge gauge is super consistent. You hit a strike art, flips out of it. You hit a blast art, flips out of it. And with Ultra UI specifically, if you're mid combo, he can flip out of even blue cards and green cards, which is outrageous given that they're the grab type or moving forward type. So instead of actually fighting and playing Dragon Ball Legends, what people do with Ultra Instinct Gokus, they just stand there. Literally, they stay long range, they let you waste your cards, try and drain their gauge, but imagine they had even 2 or 3 on the team. Now they're just dodging and dodging and dodging. Oh, you just emptied one gauge. Vanish, switch, dodge, 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 vanish, switch. Eventually they're gonna get a perfect vanish too, and then they're just gonna get the upper hand on you, and that makes it even more infuriating. But hold on, they might not even need to switch out at certain points, because green cards can restore it, main abilities can restore it. It's just consistent as hell. It's outrageous how good it is. You know what you're getting every single time, so you're able to execute in its best manner. Now I will say, with the new PvP update that we got in the 7th anniversary regarding overdrive charges, you can actually hit Ultra Instinct units and get your combo started. But that's also very risky, because if your overdrive charge gets vanished, like the full kick, you leave yourself open for a free priority from the enemy. And a lot of people don't want to take that risk, so they just wouldn't do it. It's not that they can't, it's not that it's not available to them, but there are cons to doing it, especially if you don't succeed. So sure, there is a way around Ultra Instinct units, but ultimately the value a person will get out of an Ultra Instinct unit is consistently high. The skill ceiling for Ultra Instinct is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think there's anything else in Dragon Ball Legends that has a higher skill ceiling than the Ultra Instinct gauge mechanic. You might be thinking, well, actually, it's a no skill thing, but that's not true, because a lot of people that use Ultra Instinct units lose games. But surely you wouldn't lose if you couldn't get hit. Well, that's actually true. If you can't get hit, you can't lose. Me personally, I'm the type of person that prefers offenses over defenses. If there's a meta where everybody can just survive big attacks, there's a lot of second lives, third lives, etc., I get bored really quick because games don't end. Games go on to 0 timer counts. I'm playing every single PvP game for 7 to 8 minutes. That's excessive. So when offenses are king, the game feels fast paced, explosive, as a fight should be. At least in Dragon Ball anyways. Now with the Ultra Instinct mechanic, a lot of Ultra Instinct units don't actually have good defense. As a result, they're prone to be getting melted. But that's a drawback based on them having the dodge gauge where they can't get hit in the first place. So it's going to require you use skill to use it appropriately to avoid getting punished from the enemy. And that punishment is usually very large. I will say with the exception of this Ultra UI Platinum equipment and the blue UI, every other Ultra Instinct unit on their release was very glass. Their defenses were not good. And that's at the expense of being able to dodge attacks without doing anything. So in the hands of the best player in the world, there's no mechanic that will overcome the Ultra Instinct mechanic. But even in the worst player in the world's hands, they might still just get one up on you because they don't have to do anything to get the benefits of the Ultra Instinct gauge. Where I would say almost every other mechanic, you have to somehow prompt it to see a gain in ranked PvP. This one's a little hard to explain. With the Ultra Instinct mechanic, you often get additionals that drop on top of the Ultra Instinct mechanic. Two very great examples, the red MUI Goku. The blue MUI Goku also has this, but every time you dodge an attack, you output damage for free. So the dodge gauge exists, but there's the additional of outputting damage because when he's mastered, he can also just counter attack and damage his opponent. That is crazy good, especially in every peak. MUI Goku does outrageous damage. I can only imagine what Ultra MUI Goku will do. We also have the additional with Ultra UI Goku. He can flip out of combos, which is outrageous. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, if you're getting comboed by the enemy because you somehow managed to fumble, if they hit a forward moving attack that isn't an ultimate or a rising rush, so blue cards, green cards, strike cards, UI Goku will just flip out that combo. So it becomes a stalemate and then you reset. So now you have the opportunity to get priority again and take advantage in the battle. That's outrageous. And honestly, even if you didn't touch your phone, but you have Ultra UI on the battlefield, you can benefit and do damage to the enemy by doing nothing. That's crazy. And for a third, I won't really say this is an additional to the mechanic, but when you do dodge things, you actually create some distance. So if the enemy has chained a card, pour them, because that card can lead them to get easily PV'd, especially if it's a strike card. The Ultra Instinct mechanic just opens up a land of opportunity, which is very unfair for every opponent they go against. No wonder people were dreading Ultra UI getting a platinum equipment. Simply just nasty work. This last point is mostly a bonus, but its exclusivity and the character it can appear on. Unless they drop a Whis that also has Ultra Instinct, we will only see this mechanic on Goku. I can't really imagine any other unit that will be able to use this mechanic. Maybe Master Roshi, but it wouldn't really be the exact same mechanic in my opinion. Its exclusivity on Goku, Ultra Instinct Goku being one of the most, if not the most, hype thing Dragon Ball has to offer, is a very big feat in itself and proves its worth in Dragon Ball Legends. I should also automatically point out that every Ultra Instinct unit, side note, every Ultra Instinct unit has the dodge gauge, has leaked in Dragon Ball Legends, and there's a reason for that. UI Goku is just that crazy. They know what he's gonna do to the game, they know how fluid the mechanic is, they know how beautiful it looks. Even in producing it, they go above and beyond, so when we get in game, every single time, we always say, wow. The aesthetic nature of this unit, or rather, units with Ultra Instinct, is just a tier above the rest of the game. That's going to be the end of the video. Like I said at the start of the video, if you disagree with what I said, let me know in the comment section what you think is better. I personally feel the dodge gauge is just truly a tier above the rest of the game's mechanics, which is why they treat it with so much grace and also why people fear it so much. If any Ultra Instinct unit comes into the game becomes more passive based on people not using it skillfully, but those guys that do use it skillfully literally gap the rest of the player base. If Ultra Instinct becomes meta, everybody's mindset towards PvP changes, and that's just how much of an effect it has on PvP. I should also mention, this is like the first time ever in Dragon Ball Legends history where two UI units were meta at the same time. Those obviously being the blue one and the yellow one. At least to this capacity, because these two are actually very good units. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.